Two things that I always try and teach my kids are don't promise more you can do, and make sure you do what you promise. And I'm very happy to say that I butchered multiple names today, including names that I knew. So I did follow through on what I said I would do in the beginning. While sitting here, I was struck by how our panelists and performers today covered an enormously broad range of topics and did so with impressive nuance and depth. I was also struck by all of the things that we did not have time to address. In the early days of social media, there were many people who raised concerns about its potential negative effects, especially on children. The response in large part was that it was too late. The proverbial cat had already been let out of the bag. A decade later, when large-scale longitudinal studies about the effects of social media started to be published, we learned that many of those fears were warranted, and in some instances, the effects were even worse than had been imagined. Today, we heard about how AI might affect the future of work, the future of democracy. One question I think we need to ask more is not what AI might do or what it can do, but what do we want it to do? And what do we want to make sure it does not do? And once we identify that, what can we do about it? To give two very quick examples of the type of thing I'm talking about, over the last couple of weeks, I've been having conversations with people in law and in finance about how AI is affecting their industry. Those are both areas where entry-level workers are already being replaced by AI. And these were mostly middle-aged workers that I was talking with. And there was, with the caveat that this is a small sample size, almost universal negativity about the effects for a couple of reasons. One theme that kept coming up is socialization. Without having paralegals and interns in these fields, the process of being socialized into that industry was being lost. Another thing that I heard repeatedly is that these older-ish workers were losing a lot by not interacting with younger colleagues. They were losing the advantages that they gained by being invigorated by new ideas, by being shown different ways they can think about their work and approach their work. A second, more prosaic example, I'm sure we've all received emails or listened to talks that were clearly written by AI, and I just want to make clear that this was not. When I receive these, I realize that I not only feel less connected to the person ostensibly writing these emails or giving the talks, I feel less connected to people more generally. And that is not an effect I might have predicted. And in fact, email is one of the things that is often cited as everyone wants to spend less time on email. This is a very easy way to address that. These are the types of questions that we at MIT, and especially at presidential initiatives like MITHIC and MAGIC, are determined to ask and hopefully one day answer. Now, before we get into thanks, or when we get into thanks, I'd like to start off by thanking all the people who joined us on stage. Dave Aucher, Daniela Roos, David Mindell, Sendul Mulanathan, and Rob Lowen from the Jobs and AI panel. Kirill Macon, Anna Huang, Lancelot Blanchard, and Andrew Lee for the musical interlude. Haru Podimacha, Sung-Yi Yoon, Bailey Flanagan, Lily Tsai, and Charles Stewart from the Democracy and AI panel. SHAS Dean Augustine Rayo and SCC Dean Dan Houtenlocher. Applaud for them. Thanks also to the teams at MITHIC and MAGIC, two of MIT's presidential initiatives, whose partnership made this forum possible. MAGIC's faculty co-directors, Tim Krasku and Vivek Faritas, couldn't be here today, so you probably don't need to applaud for them. But a big thanks for them, as well as to Brian Hedden and Nikos Trakakis, who serve as the co-associate deans for CERC. Can't applaud them. I'd also like to express enormous gratitude to everyone who provided behind-the-scenes assistance, including Jen Alton and Elena Nosigli at MITHIC, Amanda Deal at the SCC, Michael Brindley and Robin Palazzolo in Shas, Tanu Singh and Maxime Nguyen in Magic, the OIS team, and countless other people who put in time and effort to make this afternoon a success. And finally, I would like to thank the most important members of today's event, which is all of you, the audience, because without you, we would just be talking to ourselves, and we have had plenty of practice doing that already.